Hello, 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 everybody. Sorry, I did not go live yesterday as anticipated. You may be able to tell. I'm very stuffed up. This is typical for me post fair. Like, my body, gratefully, thankfully, waits until I'm home to decide it's going to get sick. But it is what it is. So, I have a piece of hard candy. So that hopefully I can keep the coughing at bay. Pulling my comments up on screen. So that way, and again, I'm pulling them up on my phone because I still cannot figure out where the chat is on OBS. The very first time I did a live stream on OBS, I was able to find the comment section, and it was off to the right side of the screen, just like it is on YouTube. But I have not been able to find it again. So, if you're an OBS person and you know where that is, please, please, please let me know. I'd greatly appreciate it. So, just as a reminder, this is where we are at from last week, the last video we watched 2 weeks ago. This last 2 weeks' prompts are bird and song lyric. Sorry, this is like tangled up. There we go. But I also wanted to show you my pretty ribbon that I got at fair for this project. It is the superintendent's choice. So pretty. But thought I'd share since you guys are, sharing with me in the creating of this. And it was funny on the comments it said great use of vintage items. And I was like, was there vintage items used on this? I'm not so sure, but okay. Not too many vintage items anyway. All right, so I need my stamp. Grab my stamp books. I don't know what my carryover item's gonna be. I already have a bird picture out. Since it's already out, we're going to go ahead and deal with that instead of going through this trying to find another one. We're just going to use what was already in my box. And I'm going to trim this down. This is probably wider than the playing card, so I'm sure I'll have to do some trimming after the fact as well, once I get this glued on. So if you haven't seen my short, We left fair. I was absolutely miserable. My back is still killing me from fair because I was on, you know, in a tent on a cot that I had purchased specifically for camp tenting. And I really can't do it. It was a really, really hard week on me physically. We were dying of the heat. Because we weren't able to get out of it. There was no refuge anywhere for us. We would get a little bit of shade from our neighbor camper, the camper next to us, but it didn't last long. And we spent the entire week shuffling the 3 ice chests around and around and around and around, trying to keep them in shade as much as possible. And it was just miserable. And so we actually left the fairgrounds on Sunday. I went to pick up all of our exhibits, and my husband helped my neighbor tear down the horse area. And we went from there, and we went camper shopping. So if you haven't seen my short, then you don't know what we bought. But we did finance a 19-foot travel trailer. We could have gone small for just my husband and I and the dog. But really, my opinion on it was, if we're going to do it, I want to be able to use it for fair too. Which meant it needs to be big enough to sleep 6 comfortably. Relatively comfortably. I mean, it's not an 1,800 square foot house, but it does have, the bunk beds can actually sleep 2, instead of just, they're not single bunk beds, they're almost, they're not doubles either, but somewhere in between a single and a double. And they're bunk beds, so they could easily sleep 2 per. And then the couch folds down into, the dinette folds down into a bed, like most RVs do. And then the queen also can fold down as a couch. Or fold up into a couch, I should say. Or lay down into a queen bed. This was my checklist for my fair stuff. I'm just going to use it for my glue page for today. Ooh, my glue is goopy. And I am just using these fabric strips, or fabric squares, I should say, that my granddaughter and I made our journal covers out of. But I'm tearing strips off of them, and I'm going to collage. I'm going to collage. So how has everybody been the last 2 weeks? I definitely feel out of sorts. Trying to get back into the swing of the crafting game. This one's lots of extra hairies all over it. It's alright, gives it character. Really thought either what I'm going to collage the other one with. So fair was fun. We had a really good time. Had some hiccups with some of the parents. The kids. Kids were great. Some of the parents not so much. Oops, there's two of them there. But I didn't film this year. I figure, it's the only thing that changes from year to year is the kids. So if you want to see what happens at my fair and how we do things, all you got to do is go into my playlist. And you'll find 2 years worth of video footage taken directly from my fair in real time. I think this is the back. Now that little blue got kind of washed away in that, so I'm going to pull one of these. I'm going to pull it back out. Oh, okay, well, I guess we're doing a little one. Just decided to tear itself. We're just going to do this. Across the bottom there. And then this one. And this one, I'm not going to glue all the way because I'm intentionally not going to put it all the way on. Still have the Knight of Hearts showing up there in the corner. Yeah, they really liked my junk journals again this year. I got Best in Show on one of them, and an Award of Merit on the other. So that was pretty good. Exciting, exciting. Put these back in here. Pardon me for just a second. Ooh, had to blow my nose. Okay. Then this is Birdie. We'll see. I end up kind of covering all that up down there anyway. I'm like, did I not bring my Fabri-Tac in? I did. Now again, if I was gluing paper to paper, I could get away with the glue stick on this, but because I am gluing to fabric, I'm going to use the fabric glue. Get you on there for the most part. I'm going to be clipping off just a little smidgen of his tail. It's not even going to be noticeable. Wrong scissors. Then I'm up there. Be right back now that I know where my hook is. My book o labels. Remember I was looking for these a couple projects back. I kind of like that. These are big ones that would have to be trimmed down significantly. Got these that I made myself. Definitely don't like the orange there. think I'm going to go with that. And slide it under the bird where it didn't glue completely down just yet. Let's see if I can get enough ink off of the blending tool here. I'm just going to fold this to the back. Otherwise, it's just going to create another scrap for me. Let's put some more glue up underneath this bird here. Oh, and where did that stamp go? There it is. Same thing, just folding that to the back so I don't create yet another scrap for myself. Bring something from last week on. I don't like the orange. I don't like the green. I like the blue. Wow. Certainly one I semi-okay like. I'm going to do this as a rulers and everything are out in the living room. So we're gonna eyeball. Where the eyelet's gonna go. Okay, so there's one. This would be week 31, I think. Not super sure. Okay, now we're on to this one. Ah, excuse me. Sorry, I bumped my microphone. So I pulled out some of this piano roll. Which, if you've never tried to work with it, you probably don't know what a pain, what a pain in the good is. What's a pain in the good is? So we're gonna cover this initially. Change it up. I want the queen to not show, or to show on the bottom instead of the top this time. Again, just fold into the bag for the mere purpose of having less scraps to deal with after the fact. Oh. I just realized I hit start recording instead of start streaming, so this is actually not a live stream. Let me go into StreamYard and delete that, because never mind on the live stream for this. Wowza. All right, so to tie in from last week, I'm going to bring in these again. we're just gonna kind of give it some zhuzh. I can't believe I did that. I waited. Okay, let's see if I still have it over here. I do not. I'm gonna bring out my die cut music notes again. Turn off the excess. Now my lyrics, I'm gonna pull out of, this is a Japanese music book. I don't know what any of it says. I'm assuming all of this over here is music too. I was looking for one that was small enough to fit on the card, but I don't think there is one. So with that, I think what I'm going to do is, just so that it's obvious that it's music, I'm going to put some of the sheet music with it. And it's obviously not all gonna fit. Excuse me. To about right there. Let's see what I have for I have to put it on here kind of sideways to make it fit. And it covers up most of the Chinese writing or Japanese writing. So we're going to skip on this. How about this? Okay, I like that better. So I'll take this. From that note over, we're going to add some glue. I'm going to put this in the basket because I may use that in future stuff. Put that in the whatever you want to call it. Still feels like I need something though. Flour. Do it. I think I want, I'm sad. I want an orange flower. But I want it to be small. I don't want it to overpower the whole thing. Come on. Now. We're going to just assume that this song is about flowers. Excuse me, is about flowers. Sorry about that. That caught me off guard. Wasn't prepared for that. Okay, we're gonna punch. And then, whoop, knocked you guys over again. Sorry. There's a blue one. Alright, so here we go. We have bird, and we have song lyrics. So that will conclude this not live stream video. I will get it uploaded and get myself prepared for the double feature of hashtag Altered Index 2025. Thanks for watching. Bye!